Hi, welcome to Akasha Yoga. Welcome to Yin Practice. So I will be taking you through a 30 minutes Yin Yoga practice, and what we address in this practice is the hips and the legs. So this is especially a practice very valuable if you're sitting all day, or also it's very helpful if you do any kind of engaged works that work with the thighs. If you are a runner, if you're a bicyclist, if you do any kinds of this sports, that will give you a nice stretch and space in your legs. All right. So for this practice, we will need a bolster. That can be also just a pillow that you're sleeping with, and one or two blocks that can be replaced by smaller pillows that you would have on your couch. All right, so in Yin Yoga, we will go slow in the practice. We will practice 3 postures only in half an hour. So we hold them for extended periods of time. And what's important that when we come into the practice, that we deeply relax. So we want to come into the posture. We want the posture to feel good in the body. There might definitely be stretching sensation, but please stay away from anything that feels painful, anything that you would, contract from. So staying away from short, sharp, localized pain sensations from burnings. And especially if something gets numb or tingly, that's also something to stay away from. And the advice here is to back off, basically. Don't go as deep as you are. All right, I think with that we are ready to go. We will start with a short grounding, practice 3 postures, and afterwards a short relaxation. So please find a comfortable seat. That might be folded legged as I am currently. That might be crossed legs, whatever feels good to arrive on the mat. And we start with a mini meditation. So for that, I'd like to invite you to find a position in which you can keep the spine nice and upright. And from there, simply closing the eyes. I'm taking a deep breath in and sending the breath all the way down to the beginning of your spine and lengthen your tailbone towards the earth. With your next inhalation, reach the top of your spine up high into the sky. So we are creating space in the spine, space in between the vertebrae. Taking another deep inhale into the chest to lift the heart, to open the chest. And as you exhale, soften the shoulders down and away from the ears. We'll just sit here for a moment to arrive in the body, on the mat, and get ready for practice. Just take a moment to perceive any tactile sensations. That might be the temperature of the air on the skin, a gentle breeze perhaps. That might be the fabric of your clothes touching your skin. Shifting now into sound perception. So we start by noticing the more obvious close by sound impressions. Just noticing without labeling, without thinking about it. They're just here. Now broadening the awareness into the more subtle sounds, the more far away sounds. Also simply noticing the sounds, embracing them, letting them be here. Shifting now the attention to the breath. Just watching the breath, noticing the breath without changing it. Just following each inhalation and each exhalation with our attention, just being present with the breath. One last breath. And slowly opening the eyes. Getting ready for the Yin practice part. So we will start with the posture for the hips, for the outer hips. It is called shoelace. So for shoelace, we will sit with both legs folded and we will stack one knee on top of the other and we'll come sitting in between the heels. So this is the posture. There are a few modifications that I would like to give you at your hand in case that doesn't feel good. So if that makes you fall backwards and it's really hard to bring the knees down, the knees come all the way up, just grab one of the blocks or the pillows, just elevate your hip a little bit and you will see naturally you have more space to sit upright and for the knees to drop down. So that could be really helpful. If you feel that the posture is not feeling right in the knees, it's not a posture for the knees, it's a posture for the outer hips. So if the top knee complains, take one of your blocks and stack it underneath your knee or underneath your thigh. In this way, when you support yourself, the hurt should be going away. If the lower knee is the knee that complains, that doesn't feel good, extend your leg forward and you will see that this disappears entirely. All right, ready to go? So to come into this position, you just bring one heel at the opposite side of your buttocks and you take the other heel to the other side. You might push yourself up and wiggle yourself down into the posture. Space between the heels and the buttocks, the knees roughly stacked on top of each other. So great, this is how we start. Just taking a moment to arrive in the sitting position and take a moment to feel both hips grounded. If you feel that one hip comes off a lot, also sit yourself a little higher on a block. And from here we come now into flexion, and as we fold forward, it creates a bit more sensation in the hips. As you fold forward, you might want to bring something at your side that you can rest your hands or your forearms on as we move downwards. So we move downwards and see how that feels. That should increase the sensation in your hips. If that increases sensation in your knees, then change in the way I described. You could choose to use your block to actually rest your elbows and your head. You could choose your block to simply rest your forearms. You could practice without block. You could rest your head on your knee, or you could rest your chest on your leg. So see what feels actually right, having in mind that we're staying here now for 3 minutes in the practice. So don't go as deep that you feel you can hold that for 3 breaths only and then you really have to come out. Just come into the posture that you feel something in the outer hip. That's enough. So we don't go right away into our maximum performance, but you just want to start feeling something in the outer hips. And when you're in this place, the knees are happy, you feel something in the outer hips. We commit to stillness in the body and we deeply relax the muscles. It is only when we are still in the body that this stretch can actually soak into the hip joint and soak into all the surrounding tissues to create more space in the hip joint and in the spine as well. So committing to stillness. Start now shifting the attention into relaxing the body. We start the relaxation with the relaxation of the face. So allowing the forehead to be soft, the jaw to be soft. It is fine that the head drops towards the earth in case that doesn't create any fragility in the neck. So if it feels right, just drop your head. Soften the shoulders. Don't be concerned that the spine is rounding. Our spine is supposed to round. It is made to round. So
So it is perfectly fine to round if you have a healthy spine. If you know that this is contraindicated for your condition, then please keep your spine upright. So relaxing the belly, relaxing the hips, the legs, the feet. And as we relax more, you might feel that naturally opens a new layer of depth, that the body naturally sinks a little deeper into the posture. Bringing the attention now to the breath. As the body relaxes, naturally the breath relaxes. If you feel this is not the case for you, but you feel rather a bit restless or unsettled, breathe intentionally in your belly. So as you inhale, allowing the belly to swell and to gently press into the thighs. And as you exhale, allowing the belly to deeply relax and to release deeper into the posture. Staying with the abdominal breath and working into softening the whole body. We stay here for 3 last breaths. After your 3rd breath, whenever that is for you, we will release the posture super slow. So vertebra by vertebra, roll your spine up. Slowly, slowly, and come back to upright. If you have a block right in front of you, remove it from there and extend your lower leg. So now the lower leg will be extended right in front of us, and the top leg stays same. If this was the position that you just practiced because your lower knee was not feeling good in the previous position, add a twist. So you simply twist into the direction of your top knee. If you extend just now your leg, we will go back into a flexion of the spine. So we will slowly move forward, allowing the spine to round once more. So this is now not about creating the spine long and space in the chest, but this is really to flex the spine, to let the head hang heavy, and you feel that the stretch changes considerably. Now it's not so much in the outer hips anymore, still a little of the top leg, but you feel a nice juicy stretch along the backside, the entire backside of your leg. And this is where we marinate deeply. So again, soften the body, the eyelids are soft. The whole head is heavy, dropping towards the floor. The neck is relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed. Check in with your arms. Do you have any kind of striving? Do you have a gripping in your hands? Do you try to reach deeper? If that's the case, refrain from that. Turn your palms upward so you're out of that. So you want only gravity to take you deeper into the stretch and to open the back of your leg. So no pulling, no holding, no tensing. Just deeply relaxing. Relaxing the belly, the hips, the leg. Coming back into the breath, into the abdominal breath. So as you inhale, taking the breath all the way in and down to the abdomen, feeling how your belly is pressing into your legs, a slight resistance there. And as you exhale, feel how that naturally softens and deepens the flexion without doing anything. It's just happening. Yin Yoga is about allowing the body to open in its own terms. Staying with the abdominal breath. Staying present in the body, present in the sensations. And we're simply here to welcome and embrace those sensations in the body. It is perfectly natural that they are there. It is part of the practice. We are only here to observe the sensations, to hold the sensation, to witness the process of the body deepening into the posture. We stay here for 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, whenever that feels right for you, push into your palms, and again, super slow. Come back up into an upright sitting position. Well done. Open your top leg and just take a moment to sit with both legs extended. If you feel, you can give a little shake to your legs. We were quite long in the posture now. Or if you feel some movement is required for the hips, take your legs up and bring one knee down towards the ground to bring some movement into your hip joint. Great. So we will practice now on the other side. So the top leg that was still bent in the previous posture will be now the leg at the bottom. All right. And the leg that was extended is the leg that is now on top. I want to say here that this side might feel completely different than the other side. So maybe before you didn't want to use a prop and didn't need a prop, and now actually it's required. So just feel again, can you sit upright? And how do the knees feel? If the top knee does not feel right, bring your block right in. If the lower knee doesn't feel right, extend your leg. From here, wiggling into the posture, making sure that both hips are grounded. We start again, slowly folding forward. You might want to have again your block close by to rest yourself in any way onto the block. Oftentimes when the bones are supported, the body can relax better. So it might be interesting to play with a prop to see if that allows the body to actually relax better, and in this way to open more. So we'll come back into the same flexion of the spine as we were before, checking in with where you feel the stretch. You want to feel it in the outer sides of the hips. Now a little bit more at the hip of the top leg, so the other side is now a little bit more stressed. Making sure that there's no sensations in the knees. If you feel that posture in the knees, please modify in the given directions. We're here again once more to deeply rest and relax and let go into the shape. The facial expression completely soft, neck soft, shoulders soft, spine relaxed, flexed, allowing gravity to work the upper body closer towards the earth, and with that to bring more stretch into the hips, into the outer hips. So allowing this posture to really soak into the tissues. The belly is soft, The hips are soft. If you feel there's any kind of tensions required in the hips in order to hold that posture, back off a little. Maybe you're too deep in the posture. Remember, we want to be in a stretch sensation that allows you to relax. If you feel you have to hold something, your hips, your face, your hands, your feet, if you feel any kind of tensions coming up in these areas, you're a little too deep. Just back off lightly. You're coming back for a few breaths into abdominal breath, inhaling, allowing this breath to flow into the abdomen to expand. And on exhale, to consciously release, rest deeper, sink deeper. We stay here for 3 more breaths. After your third breath, coming out of the posture, slowly vertebra by vertebra, rolling the spine back up, and eventually coming back to upright. So we open the lower leg once more, moving now to stretch into the back of the leg, moving back down from where we just came from, folding forward, rounding the spine, allowing the head to drop, and just feeling how the target area shifted from a more intense stretch in the outer hips, still a bit of stretch in the top outer hip, but now very clear sensation in the back of the extended leg. From the thigh, back of the thigh, you feel it in the back of the calf. You might even feel a sensation pull into your foot, to the sole of your foot. That's the connectedness, the interconnectedness of the body. You might also feel the stretch through your glutes into the back. You might even find some stretching sensation that goes all the way into the neck and the back of the head. That's working with fascia. That's the internal interconnectedness. And through this practice, we start to actually moisturize and bring movement into this level of being. And in this way, unstuck ourselves internally. Allowing the body to open more, to relax more. Stay for 3 more breaths. Soften, deepen. And after your third breath, gently push into your hands and coming back up slowly, vertebra by vertebra, until the spine is upright, releasing this top leg. Take a moment to just sit back and to enjoy the release of the posture. Feeling the echoes and the back of the leg, both legs, and the outer hips. How we literally brought more space in these areas. If you feel for a little shake, go ahead. Or a little bit of movement in the hip joint, that might feel good as well. All right. With that, we get ready for the next shape. That's now working on the front side of our thighs and also a little bit in the lower back. So we will practice now setter. And for setter, I would recommend to work with a block, to sit on a block, to create a little bit more space in the knees, and to work with your bolster to bring the bolster right behind your block. And it is that we want to recline, but we start with first just checking in by reclining onto extended arms. If this is feeling already much in the thighs, or it feels a bit challenging to the knees, this is where we stay. If you feel you can actually go deeper, dropping down onto the elbows, if that feels still right, you're welcome to come all the way down onto your bolster. The arms can be at the side, down at the side of the legs, out towards the side, or overheads. If you're in this position and there's no stretch whatsoever in the front of your legs, you can practice by sitting right in between your heels on the floor and reclining from here onto the ground. All right, so let's get into the shape using the block to come sitting onto the block, using the bolster right behind. Check if that feels right with your knees. Coming on the arms extended. If that still feels good, join me, come onto your elbows, and from there down onto your back. See what's happening in your knees and in your lower back. If you're placed correctly, if it feels a little much in your lower back, you might lift up and bring the tailbone a little bit forward, but we want to feel actually a compression in the lower back, and we want to feel a stretch in the thighs. So from here, check what you want to do with your arms. Are they down next to the leg, or to bring a bit more stretch into the top thighs, you might want to clasp your elbows or extend your arms overhead. So this is now the final shape. This shape is Sada. Making sure that we're in a position that we can hold this one for 3 minutes. Making last adjustments, maybe taking the knees a little bit in or out. And from here we start to relax deeply, committing to stillness. Dropping back to the memory of the previous postures, of the softness of the face, the softness of the shoulders, relaxing the front side of the body now, especially the chest, the belly. And even there is compression in the lower spine, relax all the surrounding muscles. If there's too much compression, that means your breath is influenced, or you feel you have to clench your muscles, then take a second bolster and stack it on top of your first bolster or a folded blanket. So bring your upper body higher, or practice with your arms extended behind you and prop yourself on your hands as we did initially. Deeply relaxing the thighs, the legs, the feet. Letting the breath flow naturally in and out. Rather than now breathing in any specific pattern, we just let the breath unfold naturally as it expresses. And as we're here in this position that might feel more intense and might create more of a mental activation than of a relaxation, let's try to step back from the talk of the mind. And rather than engaging and starting a conversation, rather just watching. watching the talk with no specific interest. Just talk happening. The body just being in shape, stretching, the breath moving, sense perception naturally just happening. So taking a moment to step back from actively doing and being all of this, to simply resting back and allowing life to move through in its own accords, as body and breath, as sensation, as thought, and as being a container that's holding all of this, embracing all of this. Dropping into sense of spaciousness, vastness. Stay for 3 breaths and settle. And after your 3rd breath, in case your arms are overhead or out to the side, bring them next to the body. And we start now first pushing into the elbows, and from there coming back onto the hands, and from there coming back sitting just for a moment, allowing the stretch to integrate into the joints. Some tissues and joints might feel a bit fragile right now, the lower back or the front of the legs. That's natural and normal after such an intense stretch, and that will subside in the next minute or two. So in Yin Yoga we have these short moments of rest after each posture, so that the stretch can actually be integrated into the tissues and into the joints. Once you feel ready, clear your space, move the pillow out of the way from behind you, remove the blocks, and come into Shavasana. That is the final relaxation posture. So we lie on our backs with a bit of space in between the feet, allowing the feet to roll out if that is its natural movement. The hands are next to the body, the palms point up. Just coming back into the remembrance of the softness of the body, the softness of the face, the throat, the chest, the softness of the insides of the arms and of the palms, feeling the softness of the back of the hands and the outside of the arms, the softness of the chest once more, softening the belly, the groins, the quads, the top of the thighs, the shins, the top of the feet, and the bottom of the feet, the soles, softening the heels, the calves, the back of the legs, of the thighs, the buttocks, softening the lower back consciously. Softening the middle back, the upper back, the shoulders, the back of the neck, the back of the head, and the top of the head. The whole body and being is infused with a sense of softness, openness, spaciousness. Stay here for 3 last breaths. And after your third breath, start wiggling toes and fingers. You might want to give yourself a nice stretch. And from there, rolling over to your side. And from your side, whenever you're ready, coming back into sitting. Taking a deep breath and feeling that sense of increased space in the body, space in the hips, in the legs, and space of being more free, more open, more soft, more centered within. If you like this practice, please join us for more practices here on YouTube or in the Akasha Yoga Academy. Share that video if it was inspiring for you, and just redo the practice over and over again. Namaste.